once there was a Jewish family, religious family, and they had a young son that he started getting involved with not nice people, right people, and they saw he was starting to leave Torah and the commandments. They tried to talk to him. He wouldn't talk to anybody. The only person he would talk to was his grandfather. His grandfather he would speak to. His grandfather So finally, after a while, they had ups and downs and everything, but the boy finally, after a while, he came back. So they asked the grandfather, what is it that you have that he spoke to you that he wasn't willing to speak to us? So the grandfather said, what I have is I listen. I listen. I didn't put in my own opinions. I just listened to what he had to say. You want to know where I learned this? He said, where? He said, my whole family, we lived in Poland. My parents were all religious. So was I, but I didn't succeed in school. I was too wild. I couldn't sit in class and hear these ideas. I was running around in the streets. And I had a lot of non-Jewish friends and everything. I did the commandments, but I didn't learn Torah. I didn't learn the Torah at all. It wasn't for me. Just couldn't do it. Well, no, I'm wandering around and I'm hearing people are talking that this was like in the early 30s, whatever. So I hear everybody's talking that in Germany, there's Hitler is standing up. Hitler's taking over. I mean, I don't know if you know a little bit of world history, but the Hitler was a big, he was like the savior for the German people. The Germany after World War I was totally decimated. They made these, the Versailles treaties or whatever, and they just took everything. They just took all of the money. They made these big fines, millions and millions of dollars, whatever it is, on Germany. And there was just unemployment and poverty, and money wasn't worth anything. It was starvation in all of Germany, and nobody cared. Everybody figured, Germany deserves it. And all of a sudden came along Hitler, and he rejuvenated. I think his picture was even on Time magazine. That the miracle of the 20th century, that he took the economy and he turned it around totally, the whole German economy, and he turned around. All of a sudden, people had jobs, and he made exactly the right decision, and people had jobs, and they were happy again, and there was entertainment that people had. And so he was like the nicest guy, the best, most successful for the good of mankind. He said, but his grandfather, he said, but I was listening to what people were saying, and I was hearing people saying that this Hitler is really, really anti-Semitic. And the Poles, they didn't mind that. They're maybe even bigger anti-Semites than the Germans. He said, but I heard everyone saying how anti-Semitic he is, and all they heard there was the Kristallnacht and all this stuff. So I told my parents that maybe we should leave Germany, that maybe we should leave Poland. And my parents said to me, you're telling us what to do. You don't even learn Torah. You're wandering around the streets with your bum friends, right? Your whole life is worth nothing, and we're supposed to take your advice. And no one listened to me, no one. And the more that I went around and the more that I heard, and you can go around into the bars, into whatever, and I realized there's going to be a big catastrophe. So I pleaded with everybody to come. No one came. And I even bought a ticket for myself to leave. And they said, good riddance. Get rid of you. You bother us, with your ideas. So I did. I left. And sure enough, there was the Holocaust, and everybody in my family was killed. Everybody. My immediate family, my cousins, they were all killed. All killed. So since then, I realized the importance of being listened to. No one listened to me. Because they didn't listen to me, that's why the tragedy happened. They could have just listened to me and talked to me and argued with me, and nobody even wanted to listen. From that, I learned to be quiet and to listen. Says that's why my grandson, I'm the only one that he talks to. So it's a sign that you have to sometimes listen to people. Have patience. Have a good Shabbos, everyone. God bless you. See you at